Was it like what kind of, how did that kind of lead into your depression? Or were you dealing with that before you went there, do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's funny. So I was recruiting for this role in the fall of 2011, and I was just wrapping up my degree. I'd taken a couple of extra online courses just to be eligible to enter this sort of mentorship program that I was part of to get the job.
Okay.
So I was flying out to Toronto, doing these interviews with all these different firms. And then I landed the job with BCG around November, and they gave me a signing bonus. They gave me, a few $1,000s just to say, thanks, we're excited for you to join us. You don't have to start till September of 2012. So I had 9 months and a bunch of money in my pocket and no more school. And I thought, oh God, like this is the perfect opportunity to travel. So I jumped off and went on a trip to Central America, and then came back and went to Europe for a while. I was gone for about 4 months on my own. And I remember, like, especially on the second half of the trip in Europe, I'm sort of backpacking through Mediterranean Europe, Portugal, Spain. A lot of quiet time, a lot of alone time, a lot of time just sitting on trains, reflecting, journaling. And I remember a lot of anxiety building. I remember thinking about the future and where I was going, and really, just feeling worried. This anxiety just starting to build. What was I going to be any good at this? Is this what I really wanted? What am I doing again? Like, what job did I just get signed up for? Like, I started to kind of question everything. I just had so much space and so much free time, so much alone time. So that was a sign.
Yeah. So it was kind of building before you went. You were just second guessing it all.
I think so, just a little bit, and starting to doubt myself a little bit. And it's a very competitive field to get into. A lot of
Well, it is a lot of time to think about it too. If you would have got the job and had to go right in the next week, you don't really have much time. You're kind of, I think the excitement would, at that time you had enough time to be excited for a few weeks and then have it wear off and be like, okay, well, what actually is this? Right. Whereas you weren't going from excitement right into the position and getting thrown into it.
Yeah, absolutely. But, so, and so I got out there, and it was just a whirlwind. Like, right away you get flown down to, I think, Chicago, and we spent a week. You're living in a hotel, kind of like you will be when you're actually doing the casework. But we're living in Chicago for the first week, and you're just doing training. You're going into the Chicago office, meeting people there, doing some pretty intensive training, learning about the job, meeting all sorts of people. Like, everyone from that region sort of flew in, and you got to meet your extended colleagues from different offices. It was super exciting. Again, you're going out at night, like all expenses paid, partying and drinking and, having fun. Coming into the office the next morning, totally hungover. Like, you're starting to get a bit of a feel for what the culture could be like. And so there wasn't much time to doubt anything there. It was just like,
just doing it.
You're just doing it. You're just in the zone. But then you kind of come back to Toronto, and I got assigned to my first case. I think I was working in Montreal actually for my first case. So that means, Sunday morning you start to pack your little carry-on suitcase and all your stuff, and take a taxi out to the airport in the afternoon, get on a plane, land at around 8 or 9 p.m., check into your hotel, have a meal in your, room service in your hotel room, start to, I'd feel a bit of that anxiety build about the case, what are we going to be doing tomorrow? What's our client going to be like? A lot of questions. And then you work from Monday till Thursday pretty intensively. At night you're in your hotel room, and there's not much else to do but keep working on the project.
Yeah.
And then Thursday night you fly back to your home city, in my case, Toronto, work from the Toronto office on Friday, take Saturday off / deal with a whole bunch of emails and stuff that's coming through. And then Sunday, pack up, and head off again. And I think after a few months of that was when I started to really notice that, like, I kind of came out of autopilot a bit, sobered up a bit, not like I wasn't totally abusing alcohol at the time, but I definitely was drinking way more than I do now. Um, and I just you kind of get that feeling of like, okay, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right here. And I think that's probably 3, 4, 5 months in is when I really started to realize like my mindset and the way that I was just experiencing day-to-day life was, there was dis-ease. I was not at ease at that point.
No.
And it took some time. I think it kept kind of dipping down until I really hit a bit of a bottom that I really realized like, wow, like I need to make a change here. Yeah.